Today I'm going to do a quick video that's talking about some axes that I like for splitting wood. I split wood mostly for exercise. We have a very nice wood splitter here, but I enjoy getting outside. I've been doing it since I was in high school. I don't know, I really like splitting wood. And then, you know, you get a really different experience with different axes. And I'm actually going to be mostly talking about mauls here, which are just heavier axes meant for splitting wood. And yeah, so we'll get into each one, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and maybe I'll show you swinging some axes around. So this maul, you can take a look at this one. It's solid metal and all the way down the handle. And I loved this thing. I just loved it. And they don't make them anymore. It was called a monster maul. And it's just like a welded piece of steel. You can see it's all just welded in there. And what happened, you can see there's like a thicker chunk of steel right here. What happened was over time, just right underneath it wore out, and it's too heavy for me to keep doing that. But anyway, so the handle kind of broke, and so I was actually splitting wood, and I've split many cords with this. And I brought it up over my head, and just as I brought it up over my head, I felt a little bit of a wiggle, and then I came down and it just fell right off. And I was so lucky that while that was going over my head, it didn't go flying or didn't land on me or anything like that. But it was one swing, split wood, no problem. Next swing, just fell right off. But I love this thing. I couldn't get it replaced. They don't make them anymore, they don't sell them. I've tried to find some used ones. So yeah, this one, I just honorable mention. So this is another all metal maul, like my last one, and this is another monster maul. I got this at a flea market nearby, and it's not as good. I don't know why. It looks kind of the same as the last one, but there's something about the head geometry or something that's just not right. So, I mean, I like the idea of it, but yeah, no, it just doesn't really work that well for me. It is very heavy though, so it's a good workout. But that's that. This is the wood I'm going to be splitting. I'm going to do this for each of the three mauls that I'm going to try out here. And these are big logs. They're like 2 feet. And yeah, so we'll just show how these do. I've got this first split done. The rest can be pretty easy. This thing is just really blunt. So as you saw when I hit it, it was just smashing it. And once it got a little bit into the wood, it just flew apart. So it takes a while to get a nice crack going all the way along the log there, but then it just splits apart. This is the Fiskars ISO Pro, or ISO Core Pro. There's the name right there. It's a Fiskars, you can get it at like Home Depot, and it's fantastic. I really like it. It's got a nice little guard on there. It's rusted from heavy use and being left out in the elements, and I am so surprised with this. It is a pleasure to swing. It does a really good job. It's probably my second favorite maul. You know, solid metal here, and the guard right under the head here is pretty good. You can still hit it, and it won't ruin the whole handle. And that's solid fiberglass, or whatever it is. I don't really know what it is. But whatever it is, swings really great, and it's got a little bit of a spring to it, so you kind of whip it down, and then you don't feel the vibration up your arm so much. So it's really great. Highly recommend it. Just one thing to note about this one, it's really not that expensive. So when you look at mauls, you'll see prices in the hundreds of dollars, and this is like $40 or something like that at Home Depot, and it's fantastic. So definitely worth the money, and not too heavy. I think it's like 8 pounds. Yeah, 8-pound maul. But yeah, totally works great. Fiskars. So this is a Fiskars. You can see that took 2 swings, same size log, and so it bites in quite a bit more. And then this is a curved angle that comes out, and so it just wants to push stuff apart. So those are some big 2-foot wide logs, and no problem at all. All All right, save the best for last. This is from a company called Halder. They're in Denmark, and it's a nice hickory handle, and it's their Simplex. It's got a really hard rubber on the back here. It's like a hockey puck kind of rubber. That's really good, because if you want to hit that with a sledge, you're not going to get any metal splintering off and hitting you. It comes with this nice little leather thing. The geometry on here is fantastic. This little angle or edge just grabs into the wood, and then you can see it's a really good angle that wants to push the wood apart. Obviously really heavily reinforced. That's all iron, and yeah, fantastic. So this is more expensive. It's about 8 pounds as well in terms of weight. I think it was like $200 or something like that. And it is fantastic. I use this all the time. This is my go-to maul, and yeah, I just love it. So good job from these folks. Halder. I love it, and especially because when you swing poorly, you hit this, you don't really worry about it, which is really great. So this log was actually quite a bit deeper than this one I did with the Fiskars, and you really notice it. Just an inch or two really makes a difference in just getting the wood to come apart. So yeah, I mean, it worked totally fine. Just took me a bunch of swings, and I missed my first couple of swings. So past that first split, it's super easy. All of them are like a swing or two. It's just that first one to get that break. Once they're in half or more, it's just one swing. That's about it. Some mauls that I really enjoy. I split somewhere between 5 or 6 cords by hand every year. I'll cut them up from the forest and bring them in, cut them up and split it. And it's just a nice way to get outside. I really enjoy the exercise. And then, you know, we get to heat our house with it. So it's really great.